we still faithful. I'ma put it all on the table. We forever faithful. Yeah, we still faithful.
What's going on, 49er faithful? Thank you for tuning in to Keeping the Faith. I'm JD with a little bit of a Dre Greenlaw update. Now, I know San Francisco 49ers fans are waiting on pins and needles, waiting with bated breath, anxiously awaiting any sort of news regarding 49ers linebacker Dre Greenlaw and a potential return. And today, we got a little bit of an update on Twitter. And yes, I still call it Twitter. And this is according to @49ers Sports Talk. Now, before you say, JD, who the hell is @49ers Sports Talk? That sounds like some fan who just likes to make up stuff and make up fake rumors, right? There's plenty of that going on social media. I know that. But 49ers Sports Talk is a guy who I've been following for quite some time. And let me tell you, he very rarely misses. Larry Krueger has even mentioned him a few times over on his channel. Shout out to the Krug Show. And today, @49ers Sports Talk had some very interesting things to say regarding Dre Greenlaw and the 49ers approach to his upcoming free agency status. Now, let's bring up the tweets, and we'll go from there. He first started with a tweet regarding Fred Warner, and this tweet read, "The 49ers plan to restructure the contract of All-Pro Fred Warner this offseason, per source. The restructure will save the team more than $12 million in cap space." I believe the figure is about 12.37 to be exact, and that's a significant chunk of change, especially considering that the 49ers are already rolling over $50 million worth of cap space into this offseason. Now, we all know that the Niners have a ton of guys that they need to lock up for an extended period of time this spring and summer, whether that be a George Kittle. Of course, the Brock Purdy deal is looming. We know that. Various other 49er free agents, and you know, they still have other holes that they need to fill with guys outside of the building as well. So any amount of cap space you can get is great. And I know Fred Warner's contract was one that many are speculating the Niners could restructure. But according to @49ers Sports Talk, those talks have already happened, and the 49ers plan to do that. Now, why is that significant when we're talking about Dre Greenlaw? Well, we know that Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw are buddies. They're bros. They're like this, right? And so this is the second time that the 49ers will have restructured Fred Warner's contract. Why is that significant? Most players, aren't necessarily open to restructuring their deal. But in this sense, I bet it was an easy sell to Fred Warner when the 49ers front office approached him about restructuring his deal. They probably said, "Hey, Fred, I know, you may not want to necessarily restructure your deal, but what if it helps bring back Dre? What if it helps us bring back your boy?" And I'm sure Fred Warner was very receptive to that. So according to @49ers Sports Talk, the Niners have cleared up an additional $12 million in cap space, and you would have to imagine that conversation had something to do with the impending free agency status of his running mate, Dre Greenlaw. Now, shortly thereafter, @49ers Sports Talk followed it up with another tweet, and this one is directly tied to Dre Greenlaw, and it reads, "Source, Kyle wants him. Saleh wants him. He wants to stay. Comes down to money, but a one-year prove-it deal with incentives is likely the way they go. The 49ers will make every effort to keep linebacker Dre Greenlaw in the red and gold." Now, again, this is a guy I've been following for quite some time. I know he doesn't even have an avatar. Nobody even knows what he looks like. But Niner fans, @49ers Sports Talk is a guy that you should pay attention to. He very rarely misses, like I said. So when he put this stuff out today, it definitely caught my attention. And look, it's encouraging news. You have to think about it like this. Of course the 49ers want him back, right? Of course the return of Robert Saleh would mean, of course Robert Saleh wants Dre Greenlaw back in the fold. That's one of his former players from his first stint with the team. And having a guy like Dre Greenlaw, we saw what that does to a 49ers defense when he's not on the field, and also when he's on the field. After tearing his Achilles in the Super Bowl last year, he sat out the majority of the season, only to return late in the year against the Los Angeles Rams. And in that one half of play, he looked electric, and his presence alone changed the entirety of the 49ers defense. There was an energy that you could just sense in the air with Dre Greenlaw on the field. And if they were to miss him, if they were to, let him go to a different team, that would be a blow that I don't know how they would be able to recover from or fill that hole. That would be a gaping wound in the middle of the 49ers defense. And again, you have to think about it like this. Of course, the 49ers want him back. They know his value. And of course, Fred Warner wants him back. That's his boy. Of course, Robert Saleh wants him to be here, right? But what people haven't really talked about too much that I've noticed, what about what Dre Greenlaw wants? Of course, he's going to want a little bit of security, but Dre Greenlaw also knows it would probably be in his best interest to have a 1-year prove-it deal and put together a hell of a season under his former defensive coordinator and current defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh. And you would think after, coming back, proving his worth, he'll be able to cash in big time next year. And you have to imagine, with Robert Saleh back here in the fold, don't you think Dre Greenlaw wants to be here? The Niners, there's going to be this sense of excitement around that defense and just an energy with Robert Saleh back. Dre Greenlaw wants to be a part of that. And Fred Warner is in his ear saying, hey, man, whatever we got to do. You want me to restructure my deal to get you back here, give you, a couple extra, on the side, whatever the case may be, right? Dre Greenlaw wants to be here. And seeing that tweet regarding the restructuring of Fred Warner's contract, it has to be related to the return of Dre Greenlaw. The team wants him here. Dre Greenlaw wants to be here. I don't really think it's going to come down to money necessarily. Of course, it matters. It's important. But at the end of the day, Dre Greenlaw wants to be here, and he wants to be a part of something special. He wants to be a part of the reunion with Robert Saleh. He wants to be a part of the resurgence of this 49ers defense. And I think, all things considered, with what's going on with the 49ers cap space and clearing up room by restructuring Fred Warner, and I'm sure some other contract restructures will be looming here very shortly, I think Dre Greenlaw is well on his way to returning to the 49ers. What do you think, faithful? Let me know down below in the comments. Until next time.